Hey there, today we're going to look at this new Canon lens, the RF 24 to 50mm f4.5 to 6.3, which comes as a kit lens with the Canon EOS R8. It is quite a compact lens, as you can see here, together with the RF 50mm f1.8. It has a filter size of 58mm, which is quite common. There's a ring at the front which acts as both the control ring and also the focus ring, and that's the zoom ring. It has got a collapsing mechanism. You can lock it, and so that to keep the size nice and compact. There are two buttons at the side, one to change the function of the front ring, and the other one is image stabilizer. And the lens has got, I think it's got a plastic mounts, not one of those metal mounts, which is a bit of disappointing. It is quite well built, obviously not as good as the L series lenses. It's very similar to the 50, 35, 16, and 24 millimeters. So now you can see the zoom range from 24 millimeter all the way to 50 millimeter. Now let's look at the image stabilizer. This is with the IS off, and then now is with the IS ons. It works quite well, I have to say. The focus speed is also reasonable for this sort of lens. It's nice and quiet. Now let's look at focus breathing, especially for people who do video with this lens. This is at 50mm, as you can see. There's actually minimal focus breathing, which is excellent for this lens. And this at 24mm, you can see very little focus breathing. In terms of chromatic aberration, obviously this is not the most backlit situation, but as you can see, there are not really much there. In terms of close focusing, this is how close you can get with 50mm. In terms of image quality, this is not a scientific test. Let's have a look at 24mm right at the center. Uh, let's zoom in. It is quite sharp right out of the box. Um, quite nice contrast. And if you go to the corner, it's also a bit softer but still quite sharp. And if you stop it down to f8, again there's increased sharpness and contrast, which is very good performer. Now if we go back to the center of the image, again this is nice and sharp and is very good indeed. So let's uh, zoom to 50mm right at the center. Again, it is sharp with high contrast, and let's see what the corners look like. It's slightly less sharp, but still with good contrast. And if we stop it down a bit to f8, now there's slight improvements with increased sharpness and contrast. Now if you go back to the center of the frame, it's nice and sharp with good contrast. So all in all, it's a very good lens for this price. In terms of bokeh, this is what you can get with 50mm zoom in and 50mm further out, and then at 24 millimeters close in. It's quite good and nice and smooth. Flare resistance is pretty good. Obviously, you get this one. I'm not sure what we called it. This the bright things here, but overall, contrast is quite good. All in all, this lens is surprisingly good for this price, especially if you buy it with the R8 kit. It's got good IS, good for video, nice and quiet autofocus, quite good image quality. So all in all, it's a surprise package. I would highly recommend it if you like small and portable lens.